The ICT Theory Precision Swing Point Indicator, which is readily available for various trading platforms on the comprehensive TradingFinder website, can be conveniently downloaded from this dedicated section for popular platforms like MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 and subsequently applied with ease to your chosen chart. Additionally, diligent traders can thoroughly study this informative page to gain a deeper understanding of precisely how this powerful indicator functions and meticulously operates. From the Navigator section, we carefully select the indicator file and, after successfully opening the file, we then proceed to apply the indicator directly to the chart. Then we navigate to the Inputs tab, where it is absolutely essential to specify the correct symbol that precisely matches the main symbol for which we have already applied the indicator. In the very first input field, we are able to select the specific number of symbols to be meticulously compared, which can be precisely set to either 2 or 3 distinct symbols. By default, for convenience, it is initially set to 2 symbols. In the second input field, we can accurately specify the secondary symbol for comprehensive correlation analysis, which by default is thoughtfully set to the input symbol itself, but depending on your particular broker's specific conventions, you may indeed need to carefully change this value to ensure accuracy. For my specific broker, the input symbol is consistently set to YM or Dow Jones, so I meticulously select and accurately enter it here. Just be absolutely sure to carefully note that in some brokers, trading symbols may frequently have additional suffixes. For example, here the widely recognized symbol XAUUSD has the specific suffix _O. So if I intend to accurately enter this particular symbol here, I must unequivocally include the suffix as part of the complete symbol name. After meticulously completing that step, I confidently click the OK button, and by successfully applying the indicator to the chart, it will then intelligently identify and clearly display potential buy and sell trading opportunities directly and prominently on the chart itself. The ICT Theory Precision Swing Point Indicator, specifically version 3.3, is fundamentally based on the renowned ICT theory and specifically allows dedicated ICT-style traders to effectively identify crucial price pivot reversal points and subsequently enter advantageous buy or sell trades based on the clear and actionable signals generated. The indicator meticulously works such that whenever a low is precisely formed that is demonstrably lower than the immediately preceding low, or conversely, a high is precisely formed that is demonstrably higher than the immediately preceding high. The indicator then carefully compares the individual candles of the primary symbol it is currently applied to, which in this specific instance is Nasdaq, with the carefully selected correlated symbol or symbols that have been meticulously set within the indicator's comprehensive settings. If it intelligently detects a significant divergence between 2 or 3 of these specified symbols, it then promptly issues clear and unambiguous buy and sell signals. Here, we can clearly observe that the Nasdaq candle is distinctly bullish, which is then followed by 2 subsequent bearish candles. In the S&P 500, there is 1 distinct bearish candle followed by 2 additional bearish candles, and in the Dow Jones, there is also 1 distinct bearish candle after 2 preceding bearish candles. In this particular section, it clearly shows us that the Nasdaq exhibits a noticeable divergence with both the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, and consequently, a clear signal has been precisely issued at this specific point in time. Also, in this subsequent section, we can plainly see that in the Nasdaq, a lower low has been distinctly formed, and in the S&P 500, a lower low has also been distinctly formed, but notably, in the Dow Jones, a higher low has been formed, so the significant divergence between these respective lows has been accurately identified here, and as a direct result, a clear buy signal has been precisely issued. Additionally, in the upper panel of the indicator, we can thoroughly analyze the convergence and divergence status of the symbols, and at the very end, we can meticulously observe the specific candle type for each individual symbol displayed here. We clearly see that the Nasdaq and S&P 500 are demonstrably correlated, and the Nasdaq is also demonstrably correlated with the Dow Jones. Similarly, the S&P 500 and Dow Jones can be meticulously compared, and in this comprehensive table, we can thoroughly analyze the detailed convergence and divergence status of these important financial instruments. In the last section, there's also the candle type, where we can check the last candle to see whether it's a bullish or bearish candle. As we know, for each symbol, the last closed candle is a bullish candle, which we can see in the table. In the Settings section under the Input tab, there are options available for us. In the first input, you can set the symbol selection mode, which allows you to specify the number of symbols based on which divergences are detected. This can be set to either 2 or 3 symbols. In the second input, you can specify the comparable trading symbol that is correlated with the main symbol. In the third input, you can determine the third symbol that is correlated with the main symbol so that divergences in that symbol can also be analyzed. The fourth and fifth inputs are related to the zigzag indicator settings, where you can identify pivots based on this period. These two parameters are used to detect the price movement waves. The higher you set these values, the larger and more long-term the waves will be. Conversely, if you set these values lower, minor waves will be identified. In this input, you can set the calculation period for the zigzag, and in the next input, you can set the calculation period for the zigzag backstep. In the next section, you can select the pattern method from two options, pin bar and 3 outside or inside bar. By default, it is set to the 3 inside bar mode. If I set it to the 5 bar mode, the signals it generates for each pivot will be based on the pin bar pattern. If you choose the 3 outside or inside bar mode, the signals it detects and generates will be based on that candlestick pattern. In this next section, you can adjust the pin bar ratio, which is the ratio of the shadow to the body of the candlestick for the pin bar. By default, it is set to 2, meaning the shadow must be twice the size of the body for the candlestick to be considered a pin bar, so it's set to 2 by default. The pin bar will be confirmed and you can adjust this value based on your strategy system. In the next input, you can set the status of the precision swing point filter, which is related to divergence detection. If you enable this option and set it to true, the calculation method becomes more precise and you can have reversal points on the chart with higher accuracy. In the next input, you can choose whether to use the trend and activate this option, which is relevant when you want a trend structure to be formed before a reversal pivot is detected. This means having a higher high or a lower low in the market, so the two highs that are formed for us are higher highs or the lows are lower lows, so that after detecting a trend structure, the indicator can identify a pivot for us. In the next input, you can enable or disable the alert for when buy or sell signals are generated. In the following input, you can enable or disable sending alerts to your mailbox. If you set this option to true, you need to complete the relevant email settings in the Tools tab under Options. In the next input, you can enable or disable sending alerts as notifications to your mobile device. In the next input, we can set the alert status in this section based on the signal. There are a number of candles after receiving a signal during which that signal remains valid for us, and for the system, you can specify a number here, which is currently set to 4 candles. After the indicator gives a signal, it issues an alert for us, and for up to 4 candles, that signal remains valid and its alerts are issued. In the next input, we can enable or disable the display of zigzag lines. In the following input, we can enable or disable the display of the table, and in the next input, we can enable or disable the display of correlations. Finally, in the last input, we can set the status for displaying and analyzing the chart for issuing signals, which by default is set to 500 candles. This means it reviews 500 candles back from the current candle, looking for signals and divergences on the chart. If I select the settings I have configured, you will see that the zigzag lines are displayed for us, and the signals are issued with greater accuracy for us, and however, they are displayed on the chart in fewer numbers. Also, the table has been disabled for us, and in this section, we can reset all the settings to their default state. Well friends, we've reached the end of this indicators tutorial. We would be happy if you shared your comments and suggestions with us in the comments section.